Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the rumination phase of a breakup and heartbreak. Anyone who's gone through a breakup or heartbreak will know that the rumination phase is so intense. And normally this is at the very beginning when the breakup is still so raw. That's when your mind starts overthinking, gets stuck on questioning, and you start replaying events of the past, the happy times, the sad times, the actual breakup itself. You start reliving that in your head. And especially if you're the one who got broken up with and the breakup completely caught you off guard, it was a blindsided breakup, the rumination can get so loud and intense. If you're looking to manage the rumination, work through it, this is the video for you. My name is Harriet, I'm a therapist, and I'm also someone who has been broken up with in the past. Breakups is a universal thing, but that doesn't mean that it hurts less. But it can help to know that you're not alone in this. And the fact that you've clicked onto this video, perhaps you found me through search, shows me that you have a fighting spirit, shows me that you are open to healing and moving forward. And even though you probably feel like you're in the depths of despair right now, that's something. The fact that you're here is something. If you haven't already, I always recommend pausing this video, getting yourself a hot drink, a blanket, just anything that can make you feel more cozy and comfortable whilst watching this. So, what's the problem with rumination? Well, it's not fun to be constantly thinking about someone who has just broken up with you, who has just left you heartbroken. It's not fun to have all of these unanswered questions that you are asking yourself again and again and again, but you're not actually getting any answers. It's not fun to have a stare off with the ceiling at 2 a.m. because you can't sleep because your mind feels so switched on. It's not fun to be with your friends post breakup, trying to have a good time, trying to be present, but all you can think about is your ex. The questions can vary when going through a rumination, but they normally sound like, what happened? What did I do wrong? Could I have done anything differently? When did he first decide that he didn't want me anymore? What did I do wrong? All of these questions. What happened? Why did this happen? Why me? And these questions can just feel very harsh when it comes to our self-confidence and our self-worth, because normally when you're the one who has been broken up with, you blame yourself. You feel rejected, you feel unwanted, you literally feel like, I wasn't chosen in this situation and I want to figure out why. Now, the reason why your brain does that is because your mind experiences heartbreak and a breakup as if it's a threat. It literally thinks something bad has happened and we need to get into survival mode. And part of that survival mode is trying to make sense out of what has just happened. Because from your mind's point of view, if we can make sense of what's happened, we can get some answers. Maybe we can prevent this from happening in the future. God bless our mind, because it thinks it's doing us a favor, but it doesn't actually work that way. A lot of time with breakups, especially when it wasn't your decision, unfortunately, you just have to live with the fact that you're not going to get the answers. In some situations, maybe you do, but in other situations, and I would say most situations, you may never get that concrete, clear as day answer as to why did you guys seem so happy? Why was everything going so smoothly? And then he ended things. What happened? And that's a really painful truth to sit with. I want you to know, this is not what this video is about explicitly, but I want you to know that you can live and you can move on and you can thrive without knowing those answers. I'll tell you that first. You don't need those answers in order to move on from the breakup, in order to build an incredible life. You don't need those answers. But to take a step back, right now, if you are ruminating, if you are overthinking, replaying events, asking all of those questions, it's because your mind is yearning for those answers. It's trying to make sense of things. A lot of the time when people are struggling with rumination, your first solution may be, I just want to turn my brain off. I just don't want to think about him, don't want to think about what happened, distract yourself. And that's why many people turn to partying and alcohol and doing something quite extreme in some cases, because they don't want to think about it. The rumination is too painful. The weight of the unanswered questions is too painful. And my heart goes out to you because it is painful. We know from studies that when one is going through a breakup, it literally feels like physical pain, especially if the breakup was blindsided and it caught you off guard. That can cause a lot of emotional trauma. It's emotional whiplash. It is painful. And I get that if you want to run away from that. Our brain wasn't evolved for happiness. It wasn't evolved for, the modern world, this era of life. So our brain thinks it's doing the right thing, but actually, if we are just distracting ourselves, if we are just trying to turn our brain off in any way that we can to stop the rumination, you're actually delaying the healing of this breakup. And it's probably going to make it more painful as well. Rumination, asking those questions, even if you're asking those questions to the ceiling, that is part of processing. And processing is healing. And so what I'm saying is that, especially in the early days of a breakup, when it's still so raw, this is your permission to ruminate. This isn't a video that's going to tell you, this is how you stop thinking. This is how you stop thinking about him. This is how you just let it go. I don't believe in that. I think if you try to do that, it's probably going to backfire on you, and it's going to probably block and delay your healing. I'm here to help you heal. I'm here to help you move forward whilst reclaiming your self-worth, rebuilding your confidence and your self-esteem, and getting back on your feet. Whether that's to be confidently single, which I know is probably too early to even think about that right now, but long term, whether it's to be securely and confidently single, whether it's to get back out there, get back to dating and be open to love again when you are ready. And so with that in mind, you're going to have to let yourself and your brain ruminate, especially for the early days. Let yourself ask those questions. Let your mind try and work through what happened. Will you have to do this forever? No. If it gets to a point where it's been months and you are still ruminating, you still can't switch off, you're still asking those questions and getting nowhere, then there are interventions that we can use to navigate the rumination and to manage it. And if you would like me to do a video on that, please let me know by commenting below, and I can absolutely do that, because I've helped hundreds of clients with rumination and with worrying in lots of different types of contexts. But what I say to my clients is, if you have not let yourself go through the rumination phase, then those interventions can backfire. You need to allow yourself to process first. And a lot of the times the rumination goes away by itself. You enter a new phase of the breakup, because there's many phases of a breakup. The rumination phase is temporary. So the takeaway of this video is, give yourself permission and the compassion to notice your mind when it's ruminating, and let your mind know it's okay to do so. And to get an idea of what this can look like, maybe you're in bed and your mind starts going and you start going around in circles. Acknowledge the rumination. Maybe say hello to it. Hello, rumination. We are asking those questions. Acknowledge, we're doing this because we're making sense of things. This is me processing, and that's okay. Already, I imagine if you can do that, you're going to feel a shift. You're going to feel lighter, because when we resist, we add extra layers of pain, right? If just simply resisting, overthinking worked, it would have worked by now. And so just by accepting that you are overthinking, you're in the rumination phase, that should feel already a bit lighter. And when you are just sitting there thinking and thinking at this point in time, do it with compassion. Have a hot drink next to you. Get your favorite blanket. Maybe put some music on, like some instrumental music. Just make yourself comfortable. Because what you also have to remember, when you're going through a breakup, you're going through grief. You're going through this really confusing grief. And it almost feels weirder because that person actually still exists, but just not in the capacity that you knew them in before. And so you need to treat yourself like a little baby kitten. You need to hold yourself, self-soothe in a healthy way, in your favorite way. Lean on your friends. Tell your friends how you're feeling, and be just so super kind to yourself. For the next few weeks and maybe next month or so, that is the hardest part of a breakup. It's the most raw, it can be most confusing, and you're still figuring things out. So just know that it will get better. You don't have to suffer alone. There are so many resources out there for breakups, and I hope that this video alone gave you some comfort today, just knowing that this phase will pass. And if you're ruminating, it means you're processing, and that means you're healing. If you have any questions about breakups and how to navigate them and how to navigate the emotions and thoughts that is going on for you right now, please feel free to comment down below, and I can absolutely make videos on that for you. One day in the near future, you will be past this and you will be more than okay. I promise you.